G'day, I'm Cam, and welcome to Cam's Corner. I'm that slightly annoying safety bloke who turns up after something's gone wrong, asking a million questions while everyone just wants to get back to work. I've spent a lot of years out on sites across Australia, helping teams pick through incidents and turn them into better systems, not just better paperwork. This little series is about exactly that. How you handle those first few minutes and hours after an incident, so you protect people, protect evidence, and actually learn something instead of just ticking boxes. Today we're talking about two simple things: securing the scene and preserving evidence. Sounds dry as toast, but this is where you either set yourself up for a good ICAM or you bury your chances in the first 10 minutes. So, first priority after any workplace incident, and I mean anything with potential for serious harm, is dead simple. Make the area safe and kick off your site emergency response plan. If there's one thing you remember from this episode, let it be that. Not grab your camera, not ring the regulator, not start filling in the form. It's who's hurt, what hazards are still active, and how do we stop this getting worse right now? I always think of it as three quick questions in my head. 1. Is anyone still in danger? 2. What can still go wrong here in the next 5 minutes? 3. Who do I need to call right now to get help? Let's walk through those early actions in real-life terms. First up, evacuation. If you're not sure it's safe, get people out. You can always bring them back. On one job I turned up to, there'd been a small fire in a workshop. The crew half evacuated. Some were still inside grabbing tools. Great people. Terrible idea. Smoke, possible reignition, chemicals on shelves, all unknowns. Your brain wants to save gear. Your job is to save people. Next is first aid. That's not wait for the medic. That's what can we do right now within our training. Basic life support, stopping bleeding, cooling burns, calling an ambulance. You don't need to be a superhero. You just need to do the basics well and early. Then there's accounting for personnel. This one gets missed all the time. You think you know who's on site until you don't. Muster points, head counts, check the visitors, contractors, the Sparky who said he'd just duck in for 10. In a real incident, the scariest minutes are when you're not sure if someone's still inside a risk area. A clean head count takes that anxiety off the table and gives emergency services clear info if they arrive. Finally, immediate controls. What I call stop the bleeding of the job. Is there energy that needs to be isolated? Plant that needs to be shut down? A valve to close? Spill to contain? Exclusion zone to throw up? This is where you apply simple, low-risk controls to prevent escalation. You're not investigating yet. You're not redesigning the job. You're just stopping the situation from biting you twice. If you're ever in doubt, ask yourself, if we walk away for an hour, what could get worse? Whatever pops into your head first is usually the thing you need to control. Alright, once you've got people safe and the situation under control, the next big question is, do we need to notify the regulator? I'm not going to quote chapter and verse here, it varies a bit by jurisdiction, but as a rule of thumb, you're looking at stuff like fatalities, serious injuries, dangerous occurrences, things that had a high potential to seriously hurt someone, even if you got lucky this time. Those are the ones that usually trigger formal notification and, importantly, trigger obligations around preserving the scene. When in doubt, check your local legislation and your company procedure. They should tell you what counts as notifiable where you are. Once something's notifiable, the law generally expects you to preserve the site. Basically, don't move, don't clean, don't fix, unless you absolutely have to. Now that sounds simple, till you're staring at a wrecked piece of plant blocking your main access road, with the fire brigade wanting it moved. This is where the real world crashes into the textbook. The legislation usually gives you a few clear exceptions for disturbing the scene: making the area safe, giving first aid, preventing further damage, or when the regulator or emergency services tell you to. I was on a job where a telehandler tipped near an access gate. Blocking it off was going to stop emergency vehicles getting in. So we did a quick scene capture, photos from all angles, measurements of tyre marks, note of control positions, And then we carefully moved it under direction from emergency services. That's a trade-off. Safety and access first, but document like mad before you touch anything. The thing people underestimate is how fast evidence disappears, both physical stuff and what's in people's heads. Rain washes away footprints and tire marks. Sun bakes spill stains into nothing. Housekeeping crews are like ninjas. Blink and the debris is in the skip. And memories? They start rewriting themselves within hours. People talk in the crib room and suddenly everyone remembers the same version, which might not be what actually happened. So securing the scene isn't about turning the place into a crime show set. It's about slowing that loss down long enough to get a good look. Early, respectful witness contact is gold here. I always start simple. You okay to talk? If not now, when suits today? Then, can you walk me through what you saw from the start? No blame, no theories, no, so you didn't follow the procedure, right? Just a calm space for them to download while it's still fresh. While that's happening, do some fast evidence capture. Photos before you move anything, quick sketches if needed. Grab copies of relevant permits, isolation tags, work orders. Even a rough note like, guard found tied back with cable tie is better than nothing, because in 2 days, that guard might be reinstalled and everyone's forgotten. This is what sets up a solid ICAM. Good early data. If you secure the scene and respect people, don't badger them, don't blame them, you end up with better facts and a lot less defensiveness. And that's the difference between an investigation that finds system gaps versus one that just points at the last person who touched the job. Let's talk about the messy reality of controlling a scene. Weather, traffic, and honestly, just humans being humans. First up, size of the area. Most folks start too small. My rule is start big, then scale in. If something happened in one corner of the workshop, I'm usually taping off the whole bay to start with. You can always shrink the boundary once you understand the footprint. Same outdoors. If a vehicle left the road, don't just tape off where it landed. Include the approach, the tire marks, any debris trail. Think like you're looking at the wide shot in a movie first, then you zoom into the close-up later. Outdoors, the weather is your sneaky enemy. Rain will erase half your clues. Wind scatters paperwork, plastic, even light debris. Heat bakes smells off chemicals that might have told you something about leaks or overheating. If I see clouds rolling in, I get a bit obsessive. Fast photos of ground marks. Cover key areas with tarps if it's safe. Grab samples or key bits of kit that might wash away and label where they came from. Same with wind. Secure loose items before they blow into the next postcode. But again, photo first, move second. It doesn't have to be fancy. Your phone camera and a half-decent note-taking habit do a lot of heavy lifting. Then you've got vehicles and pedestrians to manage. On busy sites, everything is trying to go through your incident scene. Forklifts, utes, people just wanting a shortcut. You've got 2 jobs here. Keep folks physically safe and protect what the scene can teach you. If there are confronting sights, serious injury, blood, damaged equipment, think about visual screens or alternate routes so staff aren't forced to walk straight past it. That's about respecting people. At the same time, don't hose everything down or sweep up marks just to make it look nice before you've recorded it. I've seen skid marks scrubbed off a concrete pad to tidy up before anyone measured them. That wiped half the story of the incident. So how do you turn that chaos into something manageable? I use a really simple checklist mindset in my head. 4 words: safe, secure, capture, communicate. Safe. Are we sure no one's still at risk from energy, environment, or emotional shock? Secure. Have we set clear boundaries, tape, cones, spotters, and decided who can go in and why? Capture. Have we grabbed the basics, photos, key measurements, names of witnesses, state of controls, before anything changes? Communicate. Who needs to know what right now? Emergency services, supervisor, regulator, workers, and what are we telling them consistently? If you run that loop a couple of times in the first hour, the scene stops feeling like a disaster and starts feeling like a learnable environment. And that's the whole point. Good scene control sets you up for an iCam that actually drives learning, instead of a witch hunt. Alright, we'll leave it there for today. Catch you next time.